Hey Queen Baes, welcome back to lesson 3 of my series Level Up, where I take you on a journey from discovering your inner princess to identify what it's going to take for you to get to the next level and being the true queens that we are. So let's get started. So just to do a quick recap, we're going to go over what we did in weeks 1 and 2. So in lesson 1, we talked about which princess are you. And we went over 3 different levels of the princess criteria. And your job was to go download those spreadsheets to see all 8 different characteristics areas and identify where you were or where your inner princess was. So you could have either been a sleeping beauty, a conscious Bella, or a queen in training. Or you could be between 2 or 3 different princesses depending on the different characteristics area. So it's okay if you're straddling the line between 2 different princesses. The point is to know your starting point so you can know what you're leveling up to in each area. Alright, in lesson 2, we talked about, or we took a deep dive into the 3 different questions that were on the lesson 3 worksheet. So one was, what happened in your life over the last 12 months? What do you want to change in your life over the next 12 months? And what are you going to do differently to make the next 12 months different than those last 12 months? So that was your deep dive activity for last week's lesson. So if you've done all that pre-work, that means you are completely ready to plan your upgrade, and we are going to move on so that you can get closer to leveling up. So let's get ready for lesson 3, where we're going to start planning your upgrade. First things first, I want you to grab your worksheets from the last video because you're going to need that in order to work on this week's lesson. The second thing I want you to do is to go ahead and download the resources from the website for this week. You're going to need those in order to work on what we're talking about for this week. Unless you want to grab a sheet of paper, but it's easier if you download the worksheet because it already has everything filled out for you in the way that you're going to need to do it for this lesson. So I'll wait right here while you go grab those. You go ahead and hit pause. So if you've downloaded the worksheet, you should have a sheet of 2 sheets, one that looks like this. This is the first one, and then this is the second one. So we're working from the very first one where it says plan your upgrade, and it says my top 3 goals are. So that's what we're working with right now. So the first thing that I want you to do is to take a look at your sheet from last week where you said what you want to have happen over the next 12 months. I want you to take a look at that list. Whether you have a long list or a short list, I want you to take a look at that list and pinpoint the top 3 things that you want to happen in your life over the next 3 months. So take a little time to look over your list and just pick 3 things. I want you to pick no more than 3. What are the top 3 things or the top 3 goals that you want to have happen over the next 12 months in your life? Alright, so hopefully you paused and you did that part of the exercise. So the next thing that I want you to do is look at the 3 things that you wrote on your sheet. And again, if you need to hit pause anytime during this video, go ahead and do so. But I want you to take those 3 things that you listed, and if you did not list them in order of importance, go ahead right now and list them 1, 2, 3 as far as which one is the most important. So number 1 being the most important thing, and number 3 being the least important. So I want you to fill out those 3 boxes that are on the right side of your paper and put 1, 2, 3 for whichever one is the most important and 3 for whichever one is the least important on your list. Go ahead and pause and do that now. And usually the first thing that pops into your mind is the most important thing. That's probably the one that you want to work on the most. So that's probably your number 1 thing. So I want you to go with your gut. And remember, I said the most important thing for you in your life. Not the most important thing for your mom, not the most important thing for your spouse, not the most important thing for your kids. The most important thing that you want in your life right now. And I want you to also think about the stage where you are in your life. So don't think about, oh, I'm 30, I probably need to be thinking about marriage. No, boo. If that's not important to you right now in your life, put that out your mind. Whatever is most important to you. Not what's important to anybody else. Not on some imaginary time scale where we have to get all these things done by a certain age. No. I want you to think about what's most important to you. Now hit pause and go ahead and get that part done. All right. So the next thing that I want you to work on is whatever that number 1 thing is that you said, I want you to take it and put it in the lower bottom or the bottom half of your sheet. And when you write it down, I know my Queen Baes, I know you guys know what a SMART goal is. So we are going to make this goal SMART today. And if you just need a refresher on what SMART is, it stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So we're going to make that goal all these 5 different things. So as you make it those 5 things, check it off on your list. So for example, a vague goal is probably something like, I want to lose weight. Yeah, that's not very smart. A more smart goal would be, I want to lose 5 pounds by, let's say, November the 1st. That is specific. That's very specific. It's measurable because you can get on a scale and see how much pounds you've lost. It's attainable because most people probably lose between a half a pound to a pound of weight a week. So that's something that is attainable. It's realistic because of that same criteria. And then I want to get it done by November the 1st. So that's timely. We're putting a timestamp on it. So that's when we want it to be done. So I want you to make your goal, whatever your goal is, I want you to make it those 5 things. SMART, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And as you make it each of these things, I want you to go ahead and check it off. Now go ahead and pause the video if you need to and complete that part of the activity. All right, so if you've made your goal SMART, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write your goal down again. Because you're like, why the hell am I writing these goals down over and over again? Here's the thing, especially for my sleeping beauties. If you have a fixed mindset, your subconscious is already telling you, I'm probably not going to get any of these things done. What you need to do is shift your core. Shift your mindset. Shift those things that are keep telling you the same things over and over every day. No, we're not going to do anything new. We're just going to do the same thing over and over. But guess what? While you're doing the same thing over and over, you're getting the same results. So we are going to start learning how to shift those mindsets and getting it into our subconscious saying, this is the thing that we said is most important, and this is what we're going to do. That's why I want you to keep writing these things down over and over. I want you to disrupt that comfort zone. I want you to take whatever is in your fixed mindset and let it know that you're about to grow. Because we are not about to stay in the same level and be in the same place 12 months from now. You are going to be at your new level 12 months from now. So what we're going to do is we're going to write it over and over again. So what I want you to do is take the second sheet where it says my SMART goal, and I want you to write it down. Now, if you probably need to do some cleanup from how you did it on the bottom sheet, go ahead and write my SMART goal and write your goal here. All right, so hopefully you've paused and done that part of the activity. And the last 2 things, the last 3 things, I just want you to do 3 more things and then I'll be done. So the last 3 things that I want you to do, the first thing I want you to do is answer the first question. What can I do this week to make this goal actionable? So what are you going to do this week to make your goal actionable? Are you going to take a walk down the street if you said you want to lose weight? Or for if you want to save more money, you probably need to go check your bank account to see how much you have in there now, to see how far away you are from your goal of how much you want to save. Whatever it is that you can do this week, because we're not waiting until next week. We're not waiting until next month. We're not waiting until January 1st when everybody starts their New Year's resolutions. I want you to take action starting this week. So what can you do this week to make this goal actionable? I want you to go ahead and write it in the space provided. All right, and then next I want you to write, what can you do to make this goal actionable next week? So this week, you're going to do certain things to make the goal actionable. But what can you do next week to make this goal actionable? And some of these tasks that you write probably for next week will be repeatable week after week. So I want you to go ahead and think about the things that you can do to make this goal actionable next week. Write it in the space provided. Go ahead and pause if you have to. All right, now I promise this is the last thing that I want you to do for this week. The last thing that I want you to do for this week is to take a look at your calendars. Whether you use your Google Calendar on your phones, whether you use your work calendar, your calendars at work, whether you use your calendars at home, whatever calendar that you use, I want you to take a look at it. And I want you to make some space in your calendar for you to work on this goal every week. So if you don't have any space in your calendar right now to work on that one goal that we talked about, that's probably an action item that you need to take this week. Take an action item this week to look at your calendar and see where you can make space for this new goal that you're going to start working on. But for those of you that have a little room to add some more stuff to your calendars, I want you to find a spot in your calendar where you can start taking action on these items every week. That's the last thing that I want you to do for this week. I promise you. That is it for this week. That's all I want you to do. So if you need to take some more time and go back and watch this video later and do it again, feel free to do so. We're going to have one more video coming next week, probably the same date, next Wednesday. So if you are in our Facebook group, you would see a new event come out for next Wednesday. If not, you're going to get a notification if you signed up on YouTube to get notifications of new videos. You will get a notification when that new video drops. So next week is going to be our last video. So I hope that you've done your homework from lessons 1, lessons 2, and lessons 3, because we're about to wrap it up in lesson 4 next week, where we're going to talk about how you are going to level up over the next year. All right, bye Queen Baes. I gave you enough to do for the rest of the day. So enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully you get your work done. And I'll see you next week.